Alrighty, good everybody, it's the Doga! And today, the 20th of September 2021, is a very special day in rock and roll history, or at least Australian rock and roll history, that is. Today marks 45 years since the original release of AC/DC's third Australian album, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. 45 years ago, I'm sure many excited teenage AC/DC fans, and maybe a few else, don't know really, we've all been happy to get a hold of the album. Been putting up with Jailbreak on the radio for the last couple of months. But now it was time to buy the new album. As you know by now, the 9 tracks on the album are Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, Ain't No Fun Waiting Round to Be a Millionaire, There's Gonna Be Some Rockin', Problem Child, Squealer, Big Balls, R.I.P., Rock in Peace, Ride On, and Jailbreak. All songs written by Bon Scott, Angus Young, and Malcolm Young. Produced by the legendary team of George Young and Harry Vander, and recorded at the now long since demolished Albert Studio 1 in King Street, Sydney, Australia. So, this basically will be a showcase as well of every copy of Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap I have. I have 12 copies of the album. I'm sure that's probably made a few fans a little jealous, so if so, I apologise for that. Let's start with the original 1976 LP. 45 years ago today, any local record store, you would have found this very copy sitting on the shelf somewhere. As you can see, very, very beautiful artwork. Of course, Angus giving the, well, can't actually say what it says. And of course, the very unique back cover as well. So, now let's pull the original record out of its sleeve. Standard copies at the time, pressed by Albert Productions. Their label was fairly unique. Dark blue with the yellow border, and of course the kangaroo with the Australian recording sign on it. That's side 1, of course. And side 2. You know what really annoys me is the fact that this album is now well and truly out of print. 18 years ago, the Australian back catalogue just vanished and was instead replaced with this stupid international back catalogue. Oh yeah, I forgot. On the day of release, you got yourself a new copy of the album on vinyl. You will also find here this insert. AC/DC Souvenir Songbook. Well, that is the name of the book as printed here on the insert. This is the genuine insert. This is no reprint. This is the real deal. Only $3 including postage and packaging. 2. AC/DC book, courtesy of J Album Son Proprietary Limited, 139 King Street, Sydney, 2000. I love AC/DC's records, and now I'd like the AC/DC book, so I'm enclosing a check or postal order for $3 including postage and packaging. And of course you write your name, address, city, state and postcode, so you know where they know where to ship it from. Straight to you. Excellent. That is my original pressing. I have a number of reissues. This particular pressing dates to the early part of the 1980s, probably around 1982 or so, this one. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you may have seen these particular pressings already. However, I haven't shown all my copies of Dirty Deeds off in videos before. This is the 1982 pressing. As you can see, the Albert Productions logo has changed. I'd say best guess that logo was introduced around mid-1982. Nice black design. As you can see, the font is pretty much the same as well. Excellent. Yeah, there's stuff on the road there. Okay. Again, if you're a regular viewer, you may have seen this rather peculiar misprint This is meant to be 1987 reissue of the album, but as you can see, the side 1 label is correct from the 1987 reissues. As you can see, there's the writing on the top half of the label, made by EMI Music Group Australasia, because the New Zealand record plant had shut down around that time. But the side 2 label doesn't match up. As you can see, it's from the earlier 83-84 reissues, where it simply says made by EMI Australia Limited in the writing around the entire text. I've not come across another one of these. I mean, this is a rather unique misprint. I've not seen it anywhere else. And that came with my copy of the Volume 1 box set, which incidentally turns 40 this year. Be sure to check out my videos on both the Volume 1 and Volume 2 LP box sets that were released in the 1980s. Okay, I have another 1987 reissue of Dirty Deeds. This one... Oh, hang on, I grabbed the wrong one. That one's supposed to be up next. This one, there we go. This one does have the correct labels on both sides, this particular reissue. So, yeah, the correct label, side 1, writing on the top half. And then, sorry for pulling it away from the camera each time, side 2 label is correct on this one. Alrighty. Now, this last copy on vinyl that I have not shown it off on my channel previously. This is the last known pressing of the album on LP after EMI had shut their Homebush plant down in 88, 89 or so. CBS would take over pressing all the albums, and the label and font is vastly different. As you can see, ain't no fun waiting around to be a millionaire. It's just been abbreviated on the side 1 label. Bit of an oddity, actually. The way writing, the copyright writing is now on the bottom of the label, and here's side 2. Excellent. Okay, now we've got the 2 singles from the album. Again, if you're a regular viewer, you would have already seen these, but if you're new, this will be your first look at this. Jailbreak, which was released in July of 1976. Running time of 4 minutes 12 seconds. That roughly matches up with the initial edit. But the album version goes for a bit longer, about 4 minutes 40 seconds or so. And the B-side is Fling Thing, which is of course an instrumental rework of the traditional Scottish song The Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond. So, that's that one. And the second single off the album was released on the 5th of October 1976, which incidentally is also Brian Johnson's birthday, is the title track, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. I didn't actually show it last time. Well, let me just pull it out. There's actually a very slight chip in the starter groove. So you can get a good look at that. It does not affect playback whatsoever. It plays perfectly fine. Because I've played it a couple of times. I recorded it onto a tape last year. The B-side is, of course, R.I.P. Rock in Peace, which, as you know, did not make it onto the international version of the album. For some reason, they decided to replace that with the single that followed this, Love at First Feel, which I do not have a copy of, and I wouldn't be showing it off anyway, because it was not from the Australian album. And of course, Jailbreak was replaced by Rocker from TNT. Okay, now we move on to my copies of the album on cassette, or cassette tape, or whatever you call them, compact cassette. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I did a video in which I showed off a large stack of tapes that I managed to grab 2 weeks ago. I mentioned there were 13 of them, but I only showed 12. Well, this is the 13th. This is the original 1976 cassette release of Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. EMI red case. and pull it out. You can see the original paper labels. I gave this a play this morning, and to my surprise, there was actually a mastering error with There's Gonna Be Some Rockin'. The very start of the song was missing. Then, after it concluded, there was a bit of extra silence, and then after a bit, it sounded like the master tape was being restarted, and then the missing portion of the intro played for the moment, and then that quickly stopped, and then Problem Child began. So I'd say this is probably unique only to the original cassette, because I have 6 cassettes of this now. I obtained a 6th one this past weekend, actually, which I have not shown off, and you will get to see it in this video. Let's take a look at the original label, cassette cover, I should say. This is the cassette cover in its entirety. It's a bit dirty there, but I haven't been able to clean it off. And again, the kangaroo that was featured on the LP is also featured on the cassette cover. When the reissues came around, they took away the kangaroo. On the inside, some cassette caring tips, do's and don'ts. How many people actually followed by these rules? Surprisingly, most of the copies I've got, different cassettes, are still really good, actually. And this morning when I was playing my original Dirty Deeds, the pinch roller tried to pull the tape out too fast on 2 occasions during side 2, during Squealer and then later on during RAP, so I was a bit annoyed about that. Thankfully I was able to save the tape both times from completely getting destroyed. Otherwise I would have been very, very, very disappointed with that. Okay, here's my second copy of the Dirty Deeds cassette. This one, I think, dates to the early 1980s. I'm sure if you may have seen this on the channel before, this particular copy. Blue text, similar label design, but now printed on the shell itself. And just like with the original, I didn't show it, but no tape leader on these earlier copies. Excellent. Always enjoyed all the songs from Dirty Deeds. Probably Squealer is my least favourite of the album, although my mother was not particularly fond of Ride On. Okay, speaking of my mum, this next cassette, which dates to probably around 1986 or so she was about 16 when she got it. This is one of 3 of the same design. This one belonged to my mum, it actually has her name on it. Back in those days when people used to write their names on things, and little did people know they'd devalue these items in the future. It should be noted the tape leader on this one is clear with blue stripes on it. Okay, and I have another one of those. This one slightly different. It's got some text on the spine of it, I think. This is another one from the same era. Like someone tried to write their name on the spine there. Again, you may have seen this already, this particular copy. And blue tape leader. I don't know which tape leader came first, the blue or the clear, because I have 2 of the clear one. I'm about to show off the next one. Oh, that's about to fall over. This is the only clean looking one of the 3 that I have the same design. As you can see, no writing on the sides of this one or on the side one. Also looks like it's faded a little bit too, and as I said, it's got the clear tape leader. Actually, this one doesn't have the stripes on it, so this is another clear tape leader altogether. Didn't even notice that. There you go. Sorry about the blurry view, unfortunately. This iPad is rather annoying at the worst of times. Okay, the most recent copy I picked up this past weekend has a different label design. I'm saying this may have been one of the last issues before the CBS cassette reissue. Probably dates to 1987 or 1988 or so. As you can see, the layout of the text is completely different again. Probably get around to playing this one later in the year, and this one's also got a blue cassette leader as well. Okay, put that away. Now, I only have one copy of the album on CD. Again, you may have already seen it if you're a regular viewer on this channel, but if you just found me and this video for the first time, this is the 1995 EMI remaster of the album, which pretty much uses the same artwork on the front and partly recreated on the back as well. And this version is known for a track indexing screw-up where the reprise at the end of Problem Child starts off the next track, track 5, and Squealer comes straight after it. This is, of course, the disc itself. There's no doubt that this is the real deal. We do know that there's plenty of counterfeits getting around, made from China and Russia and stuff. And the inside does have lyrics as well. This version, interestingly, has some extra lyrics that mention different lines from Ain't No Fun Waiting Around to Be a Millionaire. Let's see if we can actually show them. Yeah. Yeah, there seems to be a couple of lines. It ain't no fun waiting around to be a millionaire, saving your 5s, 2s and 1s. It ain't no fun waiting around to be a millionaire, but I ain't crying. I wonder if those extra lyrics, because there's also a few references, but I'm trying. Again, sorry if you can't actually read them, but yeah, a couple of lines there that may have been from an early draft or an outtake or something, because those lyrics are not present in the finished version of the song. Again, we get the artwork and some interestingly rare pictures from probably from 76 or 70, yeah. Alright, that leaves us with one item. You saw the insert for the book on the original pressing earlier. Again, if you're a regular viewer of this channel, you may have already seen me show it off, but I'm going to show it here. So, if you actually went ahead and sent the $3 over from the original LP, but apparently this also has a suggested retail price of $2.95, but I paid only $200 for this back in April or May of this year. And here it is. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap and Other Dynamite Songs. Definitely the greatest book in AC/DC history. Hang on, let me just... I didn't have the camera shown it properly last time, so let's have a better look this time. Sorry, I know I've got it on a box, but that's the only way I can hold this damn thing sometimes. Some of the humour in this is very Australian for the time and politically incorrect. But it was 45 years ago, so, you know, that sort of stuff wouldn't fly nowadays, which is rather annoying. Got all the chords and the lyrics and these super rare photos I've barely seen anywhere else. Gotta be very careful with this. Don't know how many were printed, and I don't know how many were sold. They never seem to turn up on eBay. I was just surprised to find one in one of the stores that I normally go to, and hadn't priced it yet, but we negotiated $200 would be a decent price, which is rather good, actually. That is a hilarious cartoon, that one. Yeah, reversed image of Angus. And does not play left-handed. And that has to be Mark Evans. Yeah. Sorry, my big hands in the road. Dirty Deeds. That is a great picture of Bond, that one. Thank you. I keep turning too many pages in one go. Sorry, this is taking up too much time, but again, I wanted to show it off just for those that didn't watch any of my other videos prior, so, you know, give everyone a decent look at everything. Excellent. That is it. That is the end of the video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. If you're new to the channel, please press the subscribe button. Unless you're not interested, that's fine by me. Don't really care. I don't think I'll get very many subscribers anyway. If you have a copy of the Australian Dirty Deeds Done Dead Cheer album, be sure to play it. Crack open a cold one as well, because summer's on its way. Okay, it's only the beginning of spring at the moment, but, you know, if you don't have a copy of the album, then I'm very, very sorry. It annoys even me. It took me a long time just to get all 12 of these copies of the album as it is, plus the book and the 2 singles. But that's it. Until next time, this is the Doga, saying have a wonderful day, everybody, and we shall see you again.